Alrighty guys, so in today's video we're going to talk about how to wash a UTV at home using home stuff that I typically would have here, because I know a lot of people don't have a mobile rig or a shop to go ahead and do exactly the finer details that we do. So I'm going to show you guys the simple tools that I do have that are work effective and simple, so that way you go ahead and have a clean ride after you go riding. So let's get to it. So we have a little gun right here. The reason why we have this bad boy right here is to go ahead and remove the rugged radio. So if you have a UTV and you have a rugged radio, air pumper system, this is what you want to go ahead and remove every time you go ahead and wash your vehicle, so that way you go ahead and be a fresh filter every time you go ahead and ride out. So a lot of people forget that the fact that this is something that you need to clean every single ride. And also come over here, the air filters. Now I haven't went aftermarket just yet, so one thing that I do clean is the actual filter right here. So I'm gonna open this up and show you guys right now how dirty it is. This is obviously a cleaner brand new Can-Am, so it's not gonna be too crazy, but one thing that I do is pop this out, and I use the blower or air compressor, and I blow it out from the inside and outside, so that way the less debris that's into our engine is better. So this right here, if I'm not mistaken, this is a little bit of like a little oil, so I'm not liking this, so I do have to get a catch can. So one thing I would recommend also for a lot of UTVs or even cars and trucks, always get catch cans, so that way you go ahead and separate all that extra oil before getting into the actual motor. So let's go ahead and get this cleaned out and our air pumper system, and then we'll go ahead and start jumping into the rest of the video. So now that the filter is all blown out, not much we can go ahead and do because it's the paper filter, it's not washable. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back into it. So first and foremost, the few little things that I would recommend to have here at home is a pressure washer. We have an electric pressure washer that we don't make too much noise, and we don't need too much pressure to go ahead and knock off this dirt. So I have an active 2.0 here at my house, matched up with their gun, and this very nice tip is an MTM Hydro. This right here is a little bit of plastic to go ahead and save it just in case it does spit out. So we have that here. So let's go to move on over here. I have my wheel and my wash mitt. So I have them on dollies to go ahead and slide them around a lot easier. I have a wash mitt, high quality wash mitt. This is the microfiber Madness wash mitt, so it's really nice. We have the Detail Factory brushes, so we get little small cracks and crevices. Then we have a full 360 grit guard inside, matched up with their top seal lids on this one. Right here we have a grit guard underneath, all black style. We have Gel Wet Coat, Clean Tech breaker and knockout, and we have a little bit of a solution. So this right here, Clean Tech breaker and knockout, is going to be for tires and rims. I have a Gel Wet Coat for the protection of the wheels, or if not, the body of the actual vehicle. But in this case, we're not going to go ahead and use this. We're just going to go ahead and clean the surfaces. Solution is going to be your best friend if you have a very excessive dirt, mud. That's going to be a lot more grime to go ahead and deal with. This and Whole Shot, which we do have some of, we're going to bring it over here shortly, but that right there is going to be your degreasing style, so that will go ahead and be a lot easier to remove that heavy gunk. We have an Easy Detail brush. I know you guys have seen this quite some often, our brushes, but for the first time viewers that don't know, this is for our wheel inside the barrel. This is for like the wheel wells, the engine bay areas. This right here is phenomenal. Then we have an extra large Detail Factory tire brush. So a lot of these off-road vehicles have 32s, 35s, 37s, even on like my truck 39s and 40s. You want to have something that has a lot more of a surface area, so that way you don't have to be scrubbing with a very small brush, because these tires are really big. So we got that in there. We have a towel, of course. We always like to be using towels. And then we have our microfiber wash mitt right here. This is from Max Shine. And last but not least, we have a lug nut brush or just the small little intricate areas. So that's what we have here for a wash and this. Now this is more of a professional line of like obviously products and tools, but if you're doing it at home and you want to have a nice setup, this is still a perfect setup. You don't have to detail in it, but just being at home, this is gonna save you guys' life a lot easier. Now, this wash mitt, will I use it on a very off-roaded vehicle like this? No, I would still use a towel, or if not a used wash mitt, just because of the simple fact that this doesn't have anything really painted. It's just all plastic. So I wouldn't want to go ahead and use this $20 or $30 wash mitt for something like this. This is something I would use on a you know, painted finish like your personal vehicles. But if it's just a toy like this that doesn't have anything other than plastic, then I'll go ahead and just use a towel or something like that to wash it. So that's right here. So in this corner, we still have a vacuum. So if the interior did have a lot of sand or something like that, you don't want to go ahead and pick that up with the vacuum. So we have that just in case. We have our blower. This is a Blow GT. This is like the cream of the crop of a blower, but you can go ahead and still get, I forgot what the blower is at Home Depot, like it's a torque one. That one works well. Or if not, we have a electric blower from Ryobi that has a battery operator, so that can be a lot easier to go ahead and move. Then we have our extension cord, so that we have that there. But other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a few other little things over here that I do have. But it's just a very simple little rack. Then we have a few things up here. We were cleaning our truck and trailer beforehand, so it's a little bit dirtier here, but for the most part, you'll want to have a good quality soap. So shout out to Shine Supply. This right here is going to be a pH balanced soap. So when you're going to working in the sun, definitely want to go ahead and have something that is pH balanced, so that way it doesn't stain anything and you have no worries if it does dry up. You just go ahead and reactivate it with water and it comes right off. So key thing, soap. This is the whole shot that I was mentioning. Go ahead and knock off all that grime. So these two will be your best friends. We have O&R right here. This is O&R. So O&R, what this is going to be doing is like a quick detail spray, but without no additives. So this right here is not going to streak. It's not going to harm anything. Just clean and leave it like new. So that's that. Then we have, for the interior of the stuff, I like to typically use Cruise on our vehicles, but for this sake, I would still use O&R because it's just still plastics inside. Now, if you wanted some tire shine afterwards, you could put it. I would use Shine Supply Decked Out. If not, that's it. So pretty much simple setup. Always use some gloves. Other than that, let's get to rock and rolling and show you guys how the whole procedure is of how I clean it up. So the first step you want to go ahead and do is make sure you are touching the surface. If it's too hot, go ahead and rinse it down with some water. But if it is already cool, you still want to go ahead and rinse it, so that way you go ahead and knock off some of that dirt. But one rule of thumb, always get a canopy. If your car is a little taller, you can't fit it on the canopy, try to get some shaded area, so that's going to be a lot easier for you and for the vehicle process. So let's get to rinsing. Now that we rinsed the surface, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the tires. So go ahead and use that knockout tire cleaner. I like to do a little tread a little bit, so that way it looks a little bit more uniformed. But other than that, just lay down the product. While I'm letting that set up, I'll go ahead and tackle the actual wheel face. One thing that I didn't mention, I do want to go ahead and put some soap into your bucket, so that way you have some type of cleaning properties. Some people put the actual wheel cleaner in here. I'd like to just put soap. And then we're just going to go ahead and start tackling it. And what I'd like to do is go ahead and rinse every time I'm done with cleaning the surface. I clean the actual brush, so that way go ahead and put it back into our bucket. It doesn't contaminate our actual water that's inside of there as much if I were to go ahead and just take it out and put it back in. If not, that bucket's gonna get really dirty real fast. So all you gotta do is just rinse it off real quick, That all that gunk comes out of here, not in the bucket again. Now all you gotta do is just rinse it off. Alright, so now that we went ahead and rinsed it, what I like to go ahead and do is start with this side of the suspension. So that way it can go to be uniformed. By the time we're all done with all four, the body's ready to go and the left of the interior. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is first and foremost, hit it with some hole shot. I rinsed it off already, so we're gonna spray it down with some type of degreaser and then grab our foamer, foam it down, and then start agitating. So let's go ahead and do that. Now that that's working in, grab our easy detail brush and start agitating. Just like what we started doing with the wheels, we let it dwell a little bit. And if you come over here, Aaron, show you guys right here, this is white foam, obviously, and this right here is the dirty foam. This right here is exactly why you want to go ahead and have a degreaser before the soap, so that we can help you break down that dirt. Be a lot easier. So now that we've cleaned this, we're gonna go ahead and do all the other three left, and then we're gonna go ahead and get back into doing the interior, then the exterior. Alright, so now the next step would have been to rinse it. And we're rinsing it because of the simple fact that it takes off all the excess dirt that we don't need to go ahead and start agitating with our contact wash. So now that we're going to go ahead and do that, we're going to go ahead and put our foam, let that dwell for a little bit. Then you can have the option, if it's super muddy or super dirty, to go ahead and rinse it off, then put foam back on. But in this case, it's not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and just lay down a little bit of the whole shot so that we can break down some of these little small areas. And then foam it just like how we did the undercarriage, and then just go ahead and start agitating. Once that's all done, we're going to start drying it. Once that's done, go ahead and start putting a little bit of protection. We'll go ahead and show you guys from moving on out the whole process of that. So right now I'm going to show you guys all the B-roll footage, so let's get it. Guys, so especially for these type of grills on this Maverick R, not intricate areas, so I'm just gonna go over it with a towel, and then I'm gonna follow it up with our Detail Factory brush, so that we can get all into the little tight areas. Now it's not advisable, but if you guys want to go ahead and speed up the process of drying it, you can go ahead and turn it on, wrap it around your street real quick, and then come back. So that way a lot of the water can come right off. So we might or might not do that right now. So that was a quick way, as you can see. Blew it all the water right off. So now we're gonna go ahead and touch it up with our quick detail sprays. You just need a simple towel. It can be an ONR, it can be any off-brand, AutoZone brand, just a quick detail spray to go ahead and, you know, gloss up the last little pieces that we do have. After that, you can go ahead and choose to go ahead and do some tire shine on the tires, but I personally don't, because of the simple fact that if we're gonna go off-roading, a lot of that tire shine is gonna get attracted to dirt, which we don't want. So after that, it's gonna be all done, and I appreciate you guys for staying tuned in. That's pretty much how I go ahead and clean up my UTV, and this is gonna go ahead and be the last of it. So if you guys like this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and follow for more. Thank you guys. See you on the next one.